Hello, everybody. It feels like it's been forever since I've been on mystery stamping because I missed a couple weeks ago because I didn't have a voice. And so I'm looking forward today. We will give a couple people a chance to get on to view with me. And so hopefully the volume is working. So if you can hear me, if you would put that in the comments. If you can't hear me, let me know where you're viewing from or say hello. And so I'm trying to make certain I have a mic. I checked that before I got on here to make certain that it was working. I don't know what happened to it that time that I didn't have volume, and I've yet to figure out how to dub a voice over my video. But anyway, so let's see. Good morning, Marianne. So I take it you guys can hear me. And so hi, Jane. So if you can't hear me, just put it on there. So just let me know one way or another. I'm certain that if you're not hearing me and you're seeing my mouth move, you'll probably let me know. But anyway, so hopefully everything goes well today. And like I was saying, it feels like it's been forever since I've been on here. And so I'm really looking forward to today. I've got a cute card. Okay, Marianne says she can hear me, so that's awesome. So I'm glad I checked my mic to make certain it was working. You know, technology, sometimes I'm pretty good at it, and other times it's like I have no idea. And it kept showing that my mic was working the last time, but going through my streaming software, it had been kicked out. I don't know what had happened, but so I have audio and video today. So I'm looking forward to today's card. It's a little bit more pieces than what I normally do, but it turns out to be a really cute card. So I hope you'll like it. And then I already have the next mystery stamp designed. Actually, I have the next 4 or 5 designs. So hopefully today or tomorrow, I will get the new clues up on my business group and also on my business page so that you can start working on cutting those pieces out. I cut mine out like a couple weeks ago, and then last night I could not find them. And I kept picking up the envelope that they were in, but it has multiples in there because I've already designed them and cut them out and have them ready to go. So whenever I work ahead, I always lose it. So I'm then a procrastinator crafter because I can never find it. But I found it last night, so I was really excited. And so let's get started with that mystery card. So I'll bring in my bits and pieces here. And so I am using garden green for my card base and my coordinating cardstock. I use the same color for both of them. And so I'm trying to, let me make certain that my volume's off there. So anyway, we will go through the pieces. So I'm going to grab all my bits and pieces here. I've got them in order, how it is on the thing. All right, so our card base is an 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Or you could do the 11 by 4 1/4 and score at 5.5. I've been giving you the option on how you want to do your card. So there's this. And so that's my card base. The next thing that I have down is a 3.5 by 5 basic white piece. So there's that. I'll put that up there. And then also a piece for my sentiment. So mine was a piece of a scrap that I knew would fit my sentiment. And then my coordinating cardstock, like I said, is the same as my garden green. And there's a 3 1/8 by 3 7/8. So there's that. I hope I don't lose my voice, it's starting to crack. And then a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So there's that one. And then also, let's see, a piece for my sentiment. So that will go behind my sentiment. It's the piece to layer behind. So I won't be putting my sentiment on there. It's the piece to layer behind my sentiment. And then I have DSP here. And the first one is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then the next one is 3 by 3 3/4. And I cannot remember that paper. It's a newer one. Oh man, I may have to put it in the comments below the video. And then let's see, I have a piece that's 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. And if anybody out there knows what the paper is, you can put it in the comments for me. And then I have another piece that is a 1/2 inch by 3 1/2. And then I have some twine. And maybe I can check real quick what that paper name is. Aha! I do have it here. It is called Lovely Garden. So I use garden green. I usually have it pretty close by. So Lovely Garden is the paper. So anyway, so we will get started. I'm going to move this out of the way. So the first thing that I want to do is grab my bits, and I'm going to like open them up so that I have each piece for what I need. All right, so for the front of the card, I'm going to grab my piece of DSP. And this is that, 3 1/2, nope, this is that 3 1/8 by 3 4 by 5 1/4. Oh my goodness. I've got the measurements too far away that I can't read them. All right, so we're going to place that on the front of our card. And my, I didn't say portrait and all that when I was reading them off, but my piece is portrait because it is a directional piece. Do that. I'll set this off to the side. And then I'll grab my largest coordinating cardstock. I'll add my DSP behind that. And that coordinating piece of cardstock's 3 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then this piece of DSP is 3 by 3 1/4. Oh, I keep dropping it. And then I'm just going to, I like to go landscape so that I can kind of see, but with this being about the same color, it's hard for me to see it. Yep, I've got it fairly well. Okay, so that one can be put however, because then whenever we put it down, then that's when you would decide, you know, which is portrait. And so this one here is our square piece. That's the coordinating cardstock is the 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then our piece here is the 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. It goes to get together fairly quick. It may take a little bit to cut the pieces, but it actually goes together fairly quick. And it's a fun card. There we go. And then the sentiment. Now I've already stamped mine. That way I would know what size that I needed. So go ahead and stamp your sentiment on your basic white piece. And then when you have that stamped, I trimmed mine out. You can have yours as a shape. So I'm going to go ahead and add mine to my coordinating cardstock. And I don't have measurements on this because yours will be different. Pick that up. And my sentiment. Whoops, come on. When you use liquid glue, you have wiggle room, but sometimes it wiggles when you don't want it to wiggle. There we go. I think I got it pretty well centered. A little bit off, but that'll be fine. It is a homemade card. So now that we're going to take that 3.5 by 5 and then this little strip that 1/2 inch by 3.5. And what I do is I take and add just a strip of glue, a real thin line. Then I take my DSP. Apparently I cut mine a little longer so they could probably trim it off. And then I put it on there. That is easier for me than trying to put glue on the back of the DSP and push it down. Because see, mine is hanging over. So I'm going to grab a pair of scissors and trim mine off. And even at the 3.5, if say you cut it just a little bit off, and then when you cut your DSP, they both could be just a little bit off, and then you just trim off what you don't need. All right, so I'll grab my bone folder. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and crease because I want it to lay flat so I'm not fighting it to put my card together. So the first thing, I put a Post-it note on the back to tell me which mystery stamp that was. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is take our 2 pieces that are the coordinating cardstock, and I'm going to add my square piece. And just be mindful if it's directional for you to have it going in the correct direction. Mine's a little bit directional, like this one's going up and it's the one that's in the middle, and then these are kind of pointing different directions. So I'm going to have mine be directional that way. And then this, the main thing here, is going up, where this one's then going down. So I'm going to make mine directional this way. And then you want to get 3 equal borders, the sides and the top. Place that down like that and hold. That way I know that it's fairly straight. Then I'm going to take my piece of twine that I have here, or baker's twine, and then I'm going to wrap this around a few times. Whatever I can. Need to make it a little bit more equal. There we go. And then I'm going to tie mine in a bow. If you don't like making bows, you could tie yours in a knot. I think I'm going to tie mine in a knot first, and then do my bow. I just hold my fingernail on that knot where it's going to, or on that spot, and then pull my knot tight. And that way I don't have to worry about this sliding around. I'm going to put it about midway, then space out my threads just a little bit. You don't have to do this part, but I like it where you can tell that there's more than one thread. And then I'm going to tie my bow. Or at least I'm going to attempt. Most of the time, even on camera, I can tie. I do have mine kind of short. Well, said most of the time. I didn't say every time. There. Maybe I just need to go a different direction. My nails also make it a little bit harder to tie the bow. There. Sometimes if you just go at it at a different direction, makes it a little bit easier. There we go. Then if you hold your finger on that knot, it just was a really short piece. Maybe I should have made it a little bit longer. I didn't have trouble the last time. There we go. So there's my bow. Hopefully you got yours quicker than I did. All right, so now then, we're going to take this piece and we're going to add glue to the back of this. I always do my corners because I don't want them to spring up. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do as equal on the 3 sides as we can. And then this will be a little bit whiter at the bottom. Pull that down. And I'm going to open this up and add my piece to the inside. And I do 3.5 by 5 because you can get 5 of them out of a piece of cardstock instead of just 4, just by changing the measurements just a little bit. And then this one, I'm going to grab a dimensional. I'm going to decide where I want to put this. I think I want to put it right here to the side. I'm going to put my dimensional about where I decided I wanted it. I'm going to put my dimensional there. Then I'll peel this off. Then I'll add a little bit of glue to the left side on the back. And then kind of place that there. And I always need happy birthdays. Every once in a while I need a sympathy card, and I do some thinking of you and things like that, but usually birthday is what I need. So there is our card. So the mystery has been solved on what the clues was going to create. And I hope that this is a card that you would want to make in the future and make more of those. Like I said, it takes a little bit to cut it out, but while you're cutting, you could cut more than one at a time. And then you have them ready and you can do it as an assembly line. So putting it together is not hard. It's it takes a little bit more time to cut out the extra pieces, but it doesn't matter what size the pieces are. The more pieces you have, a little bit more time that it takes to create the card. But like I said, if you cut it ahead of time, putting it together is really simple. So I hope that you enjoyed this card, and you will possibly be back with me. Let's see. I think my next mystery stamp will be on July the 10th. So the next week after the 4th will be our next mystery stamp, and then the one after that will be July 24th. So July 10th and July 24th. So hopefully you will make it a point to be with me on those 2 days and just have some fun. So I do have them already designed and cut out. So I just need to type up the clues and get those out to everybody. So like I said, I'll work on this next one today or tomorrow and get that up on the website on Facebook. So thank you for joining me, and let me know what you think of the card. And thank you, Jane. I appreciate it because I thought it was a really pretty card too. So but thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, happy stamping. Bye-bye.